Good morning. So today we're gonna go with another walk with Callie and Molly because I have them for a few more days. And I already drank my coffee. It would be impossible to walk two dogs and have coffee in my hand as well and the phone. But I wanted to keep talking about relationships, relating, going deeper into things. Um, and something that I was thinking about was what happens when we feel sexual attraction and how people don't talk much about that. And there are these assumptions and uncertainties, and it's kind of like, okay, what if somebody likes you but you don't like them that way? And all of the mixed emotions that take place. So at least from my experience, and everything that I share is from my experience and what I intuitively feel, uh, it's a very normal thing. It's part of our biology to feel sexual attraction. But the more conscious we become, the more we learn to utilize this energy and work with it instead of trying to search for immediate fulfillment or feel uncomfortable about it. And a lot of times what happens to me is, let's say I connect with a person, a male, sometimes women too, and they enjoy my energy and they're attracted to me um, in a physical way. But what I'm looking for is friendship. And when that sexual attraction comes up in the body, it can cause like feelings of like, wait a minute, what is happening? Why am I feeling this way? How can this person has that kind of power over me? And what do I do with this feeling at this moment? And we can have like feelings of embarrassment and even, like a lot of shame and guilt is associated with that. Uh, it's such a tricky subject to completely uncover uh, because there's this whole thing about like sexuality um, that it's either one way or the other. But what I want to say is that it's something that is completely normal and natural, and I've actually talked to guy friends about it, and when they're more conscious, they can actually express it and say, yes, I do feel that in your presence, but I respect you, and I truly like enjoy your company and the value that I'm getting from this friendship, so I'm able to restrain that sexual desire and just not feel like we have to do something about it or let it overtake me and ruin the interaction. And maybe this is what I'm trying to say, is that I can always feel it. But when the other person is uncomfortable with it and doesn't know what to do with it, it can really cause a block in communication, because I feel this energy and it's really strong, and I feel it's directed at me like I'm supposed to do something about it. Like, I really like you, and I want to say at the same time, okay, there's nothing wrong. This is a normal biological process, and it's flattering that you're attracted to me in this way, physically, like if I'm physically attractive. But at the same time, I don't feel that way. I cannot be attracted to everybody. I cannot sleep with everybody. I do not want to. So I'm just looking for a friendship. So is there a way that you could do something about this? And if not, it's getting to be burdensome for me to be in the presence of that when that feeling arises, because I feel like everything else gets put off on the back burner, and it's just like, ooh, there's this energy of this person really wanting me, and it's not my responsibility to do anything about it, but I feel it directed at me, and I also don't want to hurt the person's feelings. So what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that it's a very normal physical thing. And we can be in a relationship. Do you see the squirrel on the tree? And feel that sexual attraction or just appreciation of beauty in other people, like it can appear. But when we're conscious of it and accept it as something normal and natural, we can simply allow the feeling to be there. And this is how we feel all of our feelings in general. Even if it's a very strong feeling, if we accept it, don't judge it, don't go into the mind, but simply feel. And we could be like, whoa, I'm really attracted to this person. And I'm having this strong, very overwhelming feeling at this moment. And I just need to sit with it for a minute and let it pass. If you allow yourself to feel the feeling, it will pass. But if we're afraid of feeling the feeling, and if we start judging it, Molly's really old, but she's so sweet. Then what happens is we suppress it, repress it, and it comes back later even stronger and more uncomfortable. And the best way, a lot of times, is actually, even depending on the situation, you can express the feeling. And to me, it's much better, because otherwise I feel it, but the person is not saying anything. And I'm like, I want to help you with that, but I don't want to assume and embarrass somebody and say like, I know you really want to sleep with me. It's just one of these things. But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of times also, the reason that we feel this very strong like sexual pull and desire is because there are other emotions that are tangled up with that, and we feel this person can help us to just unload them. It's like a mix of stuff. And the path to consciousness would be to use that energy and pull it up into the heart and be able to, like I said, really feel what's going on and unpack. I don't know why we're not moving all of a sudden. Unpack the feelings that are arising. So there could be fear of rejection. There could be shame and guilt, and like, oh wow, I just want to like feel pleasure, but like pleasure is bad. Who said that? There can be grief and loneliness. There can be embarrassment and just kind of anxiety and all these other things. So the more conscious a person becomes working, and that's not just for men, it's for women as well, of working with that sexual energy when it arises, and teaching themselves to feel like those uncomfortable feelings, or not teaching, just allowing yourself, because when we were little, we felt over our feelings as they were arising, and then at one point we had to grow up and tone ourselves down and suppress a lot of the things that our parents were uncomfortable with, our caretakers. So when a person becomes conscious of that and they learn to process their own uncomfortable feelings, then they can really be okay with that sexual desire when it arises, not judge it, be able to like breathe through it, pull it up, and still be present in a conversation with the person without putting it on them. And if the other person feels the same, they could just bring it up very calmly and normally in a conversation, and say, you know what, I think you're a beautiful person inside and out, and I'm really attracted to you. And I just wanted to say that, and if you feel the same way, and then people can decide, okay, is this something that I want to do? And there are so many different kinds of relationships, and it can be talked about as something that is normal and natural. And the other person could be like, I feel the same way. Okay, what should we do about it? Or they could be like, I'm sorry, I don't feel like that. Or, if they feel the same way, they can say, you know what, I feel the same way, but at the same time, I don't want to get involved with anybody right now because I have this, and this in my life that I'm working on. Or they can define, if they want to have this kind of relationship, what kind of relationship would it be based on the needs of both people. And to me, this is the conscious and enlightened way of dealing with things. Just being able to have a conversation and not having this expectation that because I like this person, they need to fulfill my sexual desire, be in a relationship with me or anything like that. Or, you sleep with them and then what? If we're looking for immediate gratification. And also that awareness of what are you using sex for? Are you using it as a way to deal with these uncomfortable feelings, with the shame, the guilt, the anger, which you cannot process in any other way, but it's easier to do it through sex and dump them on the partner? And especially for women, it can be very disconcerting because we have something inserted into us. So we take on a lot emotionally through having sex or making love. So when these feelings are actually felt and processed, and the two people are in a space of wholeness, equilibrium, peace within themselves, and in general know how to work with their difficult emotions, lovemaking can be truly that sharing of love and presence, and not have expectations of how it should go based on movies, porn, whatever, but simply be like, okay, this is what I'm feeling at this moment. Are you feeling the same? And if you are, let's explore it. If both people are in a good place and this is what they want to do. And if not, be like, okay, at least we're aware of what's happening. And then based on that, let's keep moving. Which I've had that experience actually with a girlfriend. And we have great communication. So I was like, oh, you're attracted to me? That's interesting. And I'm happy that she shared with me. So I took a moment and went through am I attracted to her? I really like her. And I think she's beautiful, but I don't think I'm sexually attracted to her. And then I was like, am I attracted to women in general? Is there something I'm missing? So when I went within and I asked myself the questions, no, not really. I appreciate female beauty a lot, but so far I cannot think of ever being attracted to a woman in that kind of way. So then I shared that with her, and I said, I really appreciate it and I'm flattered, but I don't feel that way about you and women in general. And then everything was fine and we kept being friends. But had she not expressed that, I would have always felt something. And it would have made me uncomfortable. Whereas now she's aware that, this is not what I want. And she's not giving off that vibe towards me. And we have this beautiful, clear communication. Okay, this is super long, but I just wanted to express it, like I would talk to a friend and I talk to my friends like that. And I think it's important to talk about these things because when we talk about these things, then it all makes sense and you can continue to have a relationship with the person and not take it personally that a certain person is not attracted to you in that way, or like if you have that attraction, to be okay with sharing it and not be afraid of talking about it and feelings in general, and also think a little bit more about like what do we use sex for, and maybe there's something more to it, and it could be a beautiful way to truly share love and sensuality and extension. And we all have the need of touch. So we could use the platonic touch and just energetically sharing with people from the opposite gender. And that can give us a lot of gratification as well. So maybe more to raise questions on the topic for self-inquiry. Yeah, so if you have thoughts about it, let me know in the comments of if anything that I mentioned made any sense and it's something that you've been experiencing or pondered about, or how you handle it. If people are attracted to you and you're not, and feeling that intense energy of desire. And how cute is she?